All right, guys, what's going on? It's the Iceman here on this Tuesday night, and recently I've been watching a lot of the old WCW Nitros, WCW pay-per-views, and it's got me really, into, really watching the old stuff. So, I started thinking, about WCW and whatnot, and you know, for me, the Starrcades were like the ultimate. They were like the WrestleManias of the WCW. So I've been starting to watch those. So I just got done watching Starrcade 1987, Chi-Town Heat from Chicago. The main event was the Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin, the NWA World Champion, defending his belt against Ric Flair. We also, and this was in a cage. And we also saw in a cage uh, a U.S. title match. The U.S. champion Lex Luger defending his belt against Dusty Rhodes in a cage. Um, both these matches were like phenomenal. Um, Ric Flair ended up getting the belt back from Ronnie Garvin in a bloody mess, but this match was like, it was awesome. Time limit, I believe, was like 45 minutes, and I think they went just about to the limit. Um, and that was the thing about wrestling back in the days. And this is one of the things I wish they would bring back as well. When you had time limits on matches, just for the simple fact is like, okay, a lot of people were upset over at Payback when John Cena defeated Bray Wyatt. Well, if they had a time limit on that match where they both beat the hell out of each other and then the time ran out, neither one would have won. It would have been a draw. And I think people, you're going to have people on one side saying, well, there was no clear cut winner. But on the other hand, people are going to say, well, oh, Cena won again. Oh, come on, man. Or if nobody won, it's just one of those things. And I sort of like the fact that they had time limit on matches back then. This was a great pay per view. Nikita Koloff went up against Terry Taylor, and this match ran a very lengthy amount of time. I believe Nikita Koloff was the UWF champion. Taylor, Tony Taylor was a TV champion, and it was just like it was great. A lot of action and whatnot. This whole pay per view was phenomenal. Skywalkers tag team titles weren't on the line, but we did see Midnight Express face the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, and the Midnight Express, Sweet Stan Lane, and Beautiful Bobby Eaton, along with their manager Jim Cornette. Very good match on that platform going across above the ring. It was phenomenal. We also saw Tully and Arn, two members of the Four Horsemen. I will indeed bring this out. Lex Luger was the third member, and of course Ric Flair, the leader. But Tully and Arn went up against the Road Warriors with Paul Ellering, and this was a phenomenal match. And this was a match where there was a lot of controversy towards the end, where back in the day, and they had stipulations in matches where if you got thrown over the top rope, your team was disqualified. Well, Tommy Young was a referee. Earl Hebner, a lot of people remember Earl Hebner from the WWE and TNA. And it's funny because I didn't, until I saw Earl Hebner, I forgot that he was back in NWA in the older days. But Tommy Young was the actual official of this match. Earl Hebner came in when Tommy Young sort of inadvertently got hit. Um, and Hebner declared the fact that the Road Warriors had defeated Arn and Tully, but Tommy Young got his wits about him, and he did see uh, one of the members getting thrown over the top rope, and so he declared it a disqualification. Arn and Tully retained the NWA World Tag Team titles. But yeah, all in all, this was a great pay per view. Um, the opening match we saw, and this was pretty cool too. Uh, you know, Sting teamed up with Michael Hayes and gosh, I'm losing focus here. With Sting, Michael Hayes, I can't remember who the third guy was, against Eddie Gilbert. Oh, it was Sting, Michael Hayes, and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin against Eddie Gilbert, uh, Rick Steiner, and geez, boy, my memory's really at a loss here. But anyway, that was the opening match. This is where we saw Sting with the bleached blonde, spiked short hair with the little ponytail and whatnot. And uh, again, phenomenal, phenomenal uh, pay per view. And it's really bothered me for the simple fact I can't remember the third guy, and I just watched it like 2 hours, 3 hours ago. And but yeah, it was just a great Starrcade '87 was. And anybody who remembers that third guy, I mean, all I got to do is go back and pop in the DVD, and I'll find out. And actually, I should know it by heart. But I've watched so much wrestling as of late, I get, you sort of forget what year you watched and what you're seeing and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, Larry Zbyszko was the third guy. I'm sorry. Yeah, Larry Zbyszko, Eddie Gilbert, and Rick Steiner against uh, Sting, Gorgeous, Jimmy Garvin, and the other guy. Yeah, you know, it's tough getting old, guys. It really is. But you get my gist of it all. I'm just messing with you. Yeah. No, Starrcade was great. All the guys I did mention in the opening matches, though, they actually, it was true to form. Michael Hayes, Sting, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin against Zbyszko, Rick Steiner, and hot stuff Eddie Gilbert. And like I said, I was just goofing with you. But yeah, this was a good match. This is before Sting was really Sting. This was 1987 Starrcade, and as time went on, the following year Sting got bigger, and the following year he even got more bigger. But the main event with uh, the Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin, and Ric Flair in a cage. I remember that so well when I did watch it, as it actually happened back in 1987. I remember I watched it with my dad, ordered it, um, and it was one of those. It's one of those matches where you're sitting on the edge of your chair. You're a lot younger, and you were more into it, and you really didn't know the politics of wrestling back then when you were real young. You know, you knew it was all orchestrated, but then again, being so young, you let that sort of like get past you when you really got involved, and it was so awesome. It was so great, and to see Lex Luger chiseled out the way he was, a very very young Lex Luger. Um, he was a phenomenal athlete back in the early days of the NWA, WCW, and it's a shame what really ended up happening to him later on in life. But also, I want to point out too that in the opening match, which I didn't mention, on Jimmy Garvin's side, we saw Precious, and then on the opposite side, we saw Baby Doll. Everybody remembers these two valets. These were the days, guys. This is one of the reasons why I loved it so much. You're talking 27 years ago, 1987 to 2014. That is 27, right? Let's see, 87, 97 to, yeah, 27 years ago. Had it right. But yeah, it was great fun, great times. Um, if anyone has not watched Starrcade '87, Chi-Town Heat, look for it, find it, watch it. Um, this was back in the days where wrestling, it was really no holds barred. Wrestling was great. You saw blood, you saw anything that could happen, that would happen, and it was just so much fun to watch. And my next stint now will be to watch Starrcade '88, and then so on and so forth. That's what I'm doing right now is into the Starrcade mode. So, but anyway, you know, doing all this because wrestling in general. I mean, I talked about Slammiversary, which was a so-so pay-per-view. I think Money in the Bank is going to be okay, but I think other than the Money in the Bank ladder match, I think the card's going to be very weak. And it's just how wrestling is nowadays. So you go back and try to fulfill the need to watch some really good wrestling by going back in the old days, and that's what I've done. And I'll be going out and visiting Matt and my sister, and me and Matt will be watching some more Nitros and whatever Thunder or whatever pay-per-views, whatever's next in line that he's in line to watch. And we just go from there. And I'm going to bring out Starrcade '87 for Matt because he's never seen it. And, we're just going to have a lot of fun. So, all right, guys, that's it. You know, just wanted to talk about Starrcade '87. Get a chance, check it out. Um, that's it. Don't really have much else to say except for maybe I will say this. People that think you don't know, think again because we do know. And a lot of people won't know what this means, but the people that know what it means knows that we're talking about them. Peace out, everybody. Have yourself a great night.